is about the bid districts. It seems to me like it's a fancy new way of taxing certain individual groups and playing the citizens against one another by telling the citizens you don't have to pay, but these other people will. And also, when the bid district was lobbied, the one that we have now, city employees were used to lobby against taxpayers. Would you please all comment on the bid districts and what I just asked, commented?
Okay, business improvement districts, and who would like to go first? Pete Wernicke.
Just for point of clarification, can you repeat when you said there's city employees were used to lobby? Can you clarify?
Yes, Destination Rapid is, their city employees.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, who employs them?
They are a private nonprofit organization. There's not a single city employee that works for Destination Rapid City or is in any way working for Main Street Square.
Excuse me?
So anyway, that's right.
They have city funds, somebody said?
Well, let's talk about that, and I'll get to your other part of the question. I just want to make that clarification. There are no city employees that work for DRC or for Main Street Square. As far as the bid, there again, the bid was a petition-driven process. My understanding, see if I have the number right, I think it was 76% of the property owners, I believe it was by front footage, signed the petitions to put it on the ballot, and it did go to the ballot place, and the public supported it. I can't think of a more democratic process to get something approved than that. The city council, quite honestly, could have done it, but I think this process was fair. The folks that are in the downtown, and I freely admit, not all the property owners in downtown support it. There's no question about that. But the vast majority of them did. And we're in a democracy. And the reality of it is when you have a majority of the folks that want to move forward with that project, quite honestly, the city council, especially from the ballot place, from the ballot box, we need to listen to that. And so I will tell you, and I'm going to give you an example. A lot of people thought it was absolutely terrible that we would even consider a bid. How many bids do you think Deadwood has right now in their downtown? 7. And they're asking for more because they can see what's happened as far as the incredible amount of development that's occurred because of those bids. You know, I might label me an optimist, but I'm going to tell you what, Main Street Square, in my mind, is really the linchpin to the revitalization of downtown Rapid City. If you go down to downtown Rapid City right now, I'm going to tell you what, I've lived here literally my entire life, and I've never seen downtown as vibrant as it is today. And I think a lot of that is through the efforts of DRC, Main Street Square, and other projects like Presidential Plaza.
Okay. Does anyone else want to take the question? Pete Wernicke.
I'm not a big fan of bids at all. My problem with it is the fact that what you're doing is you're using tax dollars to fund a quasi-private venture. If the project is worthwhile, it should be privately funded. That's what I think we're getting on very dangerous ground in the city by allowing this type of thing to happen. Again, it was like the previous question. My concern is the fact that a lot of these joint ventures, the cities end up getting stuck when they don't work. And you can have all the agreements in the world. Who's left with the hole in the ground? The city. People can walk away from things. People walk away from businesses. This is what we're facing here. The idea that a bid district is necessary, and look at the numbers that we're talking about here in terms of Main Street Square. It's a great example here. They're going to generate, they claim, $176,000 a year. They're talking about an operational budget of over $600,000. I mean, it's a lot of money. Are they going to be able to do it? Nobody knows. Who's going to get stuck with the bills? Who's going to get stuck with the maintenance? Will the bid districts increase because of it? You've given a tool to a government that can now change the rules. Very dangerous ground. My personal beliefs, I believe totally free enterprise. I would love nothing more to see than a really wonderful, vibrant downtown. But I think that the way that we have to go about it is not taxing people, not giving the money to private enterprise, but having the private enterprise come in, let them risk it. That's what capitalism is about.
Thank you. Okay to go, Brett.
Yes.
I appreciate all the comments on the bid district, and I understand that we can look back on this thing, and hindsight's 20/20. Is there opportunities for bid districts to be abused? Absolutely. Are there opportunities for bid districts to be good items? Absolutely. This, I believe, was an opportunity for it to be a good thing for Rapid City and for the downtown merchants. I did struggle making this decision when I went to support it, because there was very, very concerned people that have businesses downtown saying, hey, listen, why should I pay for something that somebody else wants? There's a lot of items that are downtown that the downtown people and downtown folks use that other people pay for. Parking is an example. And we went through a long, extensive conversation about parking and those types of things. But the bid district itself, I was one of the instrumental players in changing the way that bid district was set up to give the people that were farther away from the center an opportunity for time for that to do something more for their businesses that were farther away from the centers. There was people on the outskirts of the bid district that did not want anything to do with it. Does it pit businesses against one another? Absolutely. It does, and it's a hard thing to deal with. But you have to be able to bring those business partners together and get the best consensus that you can get. And the way you do that is by talking to them, going down there and bringing them in and make sure they understand what you're doing, first of all. Was there opportunities to make this thing better from the very beginning? Absolutely. I think if they would have spent the time up front a little bit more to bring these people in and listen to their concerns, I think that they would have had a lot better selling through on this project. And I will be watching the bid district, and I will be watching Main Street Square to make sure that those things don't turn into flops if I have anything to say about it. Thank you.
Sam Quaker.
Thank you. In the beginning, when the bid district was first being discussed, there was not the level of collaboration that there should have been. It was first presented to me and other council members, and that 98% of downtown supported it. When I started doing some checking, I found out that that wasn't the case. Well, Ed Seffner entered the picture, and I'm really impressed with his leadership. He took the time to visit with everybody, and it isn't perfect, but I think it's something that we need to do. We need to take this step of faith as a community, and we need to move forward with this exciting project downtown. And one of the reasons that I think you should vote for me to be our new mayor is because I will make sure that the bid is accountable to you. Thank you.
Okay.